We're here at the blog passes7.blogspot.com, and if you went to Google right now and typed in felonies and FINRA, or can I get registered with FINRA if I have a felony, we would probably come up in one of the top 2 or 3 spots. This post that I started March 27th, 2010, well, it's been a while. This one is still about half the activity on the blog. As you can see, we're up to 514 comments between the questions and then my response. Not that I'm an attorney or anything like that. I'm just a student that tries to do a little bit of homework. But you can see pretty much everyone posted as anonymous. A lot of people, apparently mostly guys, have some issues. You know, not only is passing the Series 7 a challenge, but if you have a recent conviction or if you have anything within the last 10 years that could be related to the industry, it could be a real problem. As we saw here, this started when somebody emailed me the following: I have been charged with felony forgery in the past year. That's bad, right? I received probation and did not inform my firm. That's also bad. And then the broker-dealer found out they updated my U5 and terminated me. They didn't just update your U5, they did a U5 to terminate you because he was supposed to update his U4 when something like that happens. And yeah, it's probably a career ender, but now it definitely is. So now FINRA is investigating me for failing to update my U4 with the felony forgery information. My criminal information is now on broker check. Can I realistically get hired in the business again? Not really, just so you know. And it's so directly related, and it's a felony, and you didn't play by the FINRA requirement to update your information. High standards of commercial honor were not apparently met there. Somebody else way back when, I'm wondering if you might have any insight here. I was convicted of a theft 1 felony. Different states have different charges, but that's bad. Not only is it a felony, but it's shoplifting, so even if it were a misdemeanor, it would be a problem. Oh, it was subsequently reduced to a misdemeanor. It's still a huge problem, but in another 8 months, I can get my record expunged. How will this affect my ability to get a license? It'll be a problem. As FINRA says, we may be able to find it on their website. Expunged means the conviction goes away, but you were still charged. That's why they ask the question that way. They're such lawyers. I was talking to a few lawyers, and they're not in the industry, but they're saying, you know what, I bet that's why they ask it that way. And you can tell they're right. They say, have you ever been charged with? So that even if you have the conviction expunged, you still have to answer, yes, I was charged with it, and they're going to find out. See, FINRA's tricky. If you have a misdemeanor DUI, you don't have to disclose it on U4, but FINRA will still find out and hassle you. Doesn't mean that you'll be kept out of the business, but you could be, because as they're hassling you for documents, if you refuse to cooperate, that could be the reason to keep you out. So FINRA has many ways of keeping folks out. But I pulled up filing guidance, FINRA. Here we go. All right. So U4 and U5 are really a big deal. This is what plugs into broker check so that when the public goes to the FINRA.org website, we can check you out before you ever come to my office. Maybe the first time you call, my assistant just takes your name and we go to broker check, and for most people there's nothing to report. You've passed these 2 exams and you have no disciplinary problems, but if you do, it could be a problem. So questions 14A and B, that's where Form U4 starts to get a little sweaty for some people. What if I were in the military? Well, yeah, I think they say that right on the form. I'm surprised people have to ask that. Any court, foreign, military. If a registered person is convicted of a crime and later pardoned, you don't hear pardoned that often. I think that's like from the governor or the president. Must the conviction continue to be reported? What if the conviction is set aside? A person convicted of a crime and subsequently pardoned must continue to report the conviction. A pardon releases an individual from the punishment for a crime, but does not remove the conviction. If the conviction is set aside, a copy of the court's order should be sent to FINRA's Registration and Disclosure Department. In many cases, the purpose of an order to set aside a conviction is to restore the individual to the position he would have been in if the conviction had never been entered. In such case, the conviction is not reportable. In other cases, an order may restore some or all civil rights, but not order the expungement of or otherwise remove the conviction. Wow. In other words, you need a lawyer when you're handling this stuff. If a registered person is arrested but not charged, is the arrest required to be reported? No. So you got mouthy on campus. They put you in handcuffs. They took you to the station. Your attitude adjusted sufficiently, and they let you go. There you go. I was arrested, but the DA, or in Illinois, the state's attorney, didn't file charges. Well, good for you. Is a misdemeanor charge or conviction of failure to file income tax or a guilty or no contest plea such offense required to be reported? No, but you really ought to pay your taxes probably. Diversion program, gambling. Wow, some of these are pretty intense. Is a FINRA acceptance waiver and consent reportable? Oh, absolutely. So you got in trouble. You said, I accept your judgment, FINRA. I consent to it, and I waive my right to appeal. Yeah. However you handled it, you're going to have to report it. Is a rule violation that results in a fine of $2,500 or less always a minor rule violation? No. See, you never get a straight answer. When does the registered person have to report that he is the subject of a FINRA investigation? When, after the Wells notice has been given, or after an associated person has been advised by the staff that it intends to recommend formal disciplinary action. Not the subpoenas or the preliminary inquiries. Okay. If FINRA files a complaint against a registered person, but the complaint is dismissed and not appealed, what should the registered person report? You have to answer yes to question 14G2, and then when the complaint is dismissed, the answer can be amended to no. Wow. Finally, what is a sales practice violation? By the way, see the link up here. You should go here. Defined in the instructions to the U4 and U5, any contact directed at or involving a customer which would constitute a violation of any rules, of any SRO, any provision of the Exchange Act, or any state statute prohibiting fraud in connection with the offer, sale, or purchase of security, or rendering of the advice. Wow. Almost anything. Interesting. So if you have further interest in this, go to path7.blogspot.com, type in felonies in FINRA, or just go to Google. It'll come up just as fast, actually. And check out FINRA's guidance here, which is, as you can see, finra.org/web, groups, etc. But I'm going to try to keep this one short. If you have questions, send them to walker@path7.com.